Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Andrew with Peck's Middle Picks, and I'm here with.
Corey from Trivium.
And what do you do, Corey?
Play guitar.
All right, and backup vocals.
Yeah. And the guitar.
So I have to admit, I'm one of the fans that really love Shogun and Ascendancy and the first four albums. And recently, you guys put out The Sin in the Sentence and went back to a little bit of screaming and blast beat kind of stuff. What was the choice? Why did you guys decide to go back and do some of that?
Well, Matt, was able to scream again after kind of learning a new technique, and we just felt after getting Alex playing drums and just having that element where there was no limitations on what we could play, and just after touring and playing a lot of the old stuff and just kind of felt it's just what we wanted to do. We wanted to just play some heavy stuff, but also have the aggression and stuff that we've done in the past, and also have all the big melodic stuff. So it's just kind of using everything in our kind of like what makes up our sound and just kind of utilizing it all on the same record.
Yeah, I feel like The Sin in the Sentence is one of the first times Trivium has really tried to wrap all of your guys' sounds together from the last 7 albums. You can kind of hear a little bit of everything on there, especially because the album before that didn't really have any screams. Was it weird to get back into that heavier side of things?
No, it's very natural. We just started writing, and just kind of that stuff kind of came out very easily. Nothing's ever really forced. You just kind of like, at the time making a record, you just kind of go with what feels right and what's inspiring you. And as I said, we just wanted to play some heavy stuff and play some aggressive stuff, and we kind of felt that the fans obviously from all the past records, not having screaming on the previous record, we just knew that that's an element in our sound that people really like about what we do, kind of having the meshing of aggression and melody all kind of smashed together. And we've just kind of over the years have experimented with what we can do with our sound, and just kind of utilized everything that we've learned on every record, and just tried to make a really cohesive record that kind of utilizes every aspect of our sound, from having stuff that's really aggressive, and then some songs having more focus on some of the more melodic elements, and then songs obviously that have kind of like a marriage of both. So it's very natural for us to write like that, because that's just kind of like the music we play and write very easily. So we just wanted to write, obviously just kind of like make a record that I think would really kind of sum up everything we've done to this point.
As the guitarist, going from the previous album, which was definitely softer, to The Sin in the Sentence, I don't want to say was the previous album more boring for you to play, but
it was definitely, guitar-wise, it was a lot for me to do, since I did basically all the guitar solos on that record. And then with those songs, since there's no screaming, and there's just the way the songs kind of came about, with got a lot of the songs started, the main part that started the song was kind of like a guitar melody. So there's a lot more layering and a lot of guitar melody stuff being kind of like a focal point. So there's a lot of, I guess if you're the lead person, like playing the songs live, like it seems like I'm playing more leads than rhythms half the time, just because there's so many parts over each other. So there's a lot of I guess melodic depth into the music. So recording that record, I had a lot to do, especially doing a lot more guitar solos than normal. There, some of the songs, there's a guitar solo that's like half the song. So there was a lot of cool stuff, because it's a lot more melodic based record, that there was definitely a lot more points where the melody guitars were prominent. And the new record, there still is a lot of that, but this record also was like a lot of those elements were just replaced by just like heavy riffs instead of melody stuff, which is obviously still in there, but we wanted to kind of be more like get a lot more riffs in the material, and have like those fun rhythmic parts going on, and not all being where Matt and I can play the same thing. It can just really sound powerful, kind of locked in, instead of like him playing one thing and then I'm playing like a melody thing. There's a lot more power when we lock into a riff, and just everyone's just kind of like jamming.
Yeah. And you've been in the band since 2003, so you're one of the oldest members. do you have a favorite throughout the years that you like to go back to, or is there a song, you know, from a particular album that comes up when you play it live and you're just really into that one?
Well, we do. We're pretty active with rotating our set list around. So it's always fun, like with the old stuff, you know, with Alex coming into the fold, and there's a lot of stuff on the old records that we weren't playing for a long time, just because it just, you know, either the person playing drums with us, maybe there's certain songs, because we have a lot of, you know, variety of back catalog stuff, and there's some stuff that is like really, you know, I guess on the drum side of it, a lot of double bass, a lot of fast stuff, and some of the previous drummers, like, you know, they could handle a lot of the material, but there was like the extreme side of the band was maybe not something that was in their like comfort zone. So there were certain songs on the old records that we weren't doing live for years, just because we knew it just wouldn't really have, it wouldn't sound the way it would need it to be live. So with Alex being able to play anything from like the simpler rock stuff to the really fast double bass stuff, we've been going back and, you know, our headlining sets, we've been playing a lot of stuff that we haven't played in like 5-7 years. So it's been a lot of fun, like on that end. For the old stuff, is for the rest of us, we, you know, playing these songs for years, and then being able to play a song we personally haven't even played in like 5 years at least, or a song that we never really even played on tour.
Yeah.
To put it in the set list and kind of surprise fans with stuff that they wouldn't normally hear is a lot of fun to kind of not always play the same stuff. That gets kind of boring. So it's always fun to rotate in and out old songs, because then it gives, you know, having to balance the set list with new and old and everything. It's like if we're playing some old stuff that we don't normally play, it makes it fun for the rest of us to.
Yeah. And I was gonna ask about, you know, after you've been a band for so long, if you get kind of tired of playing the same fan favorites over and over. It sounds like kind of, and you guys do a good job of varying the set list too.
Yeah, even some of the big songs from the old records, you know, we were playing Pull Harder like every show for like a decade, and then we stopped playing it for like a year and just kind of let it kind of sit, you know, on the shelf for a little bit.
Yeah.
And same thing with Down from the Sky. Like we just always, no matter how long or short our set was, that song was always in the set. And then we just stopped playing it on one of the last tours. So it's cool because we can give, like, we have so many songs that are, you know, fans want to hear, that we don't normally have to just stick to playing the songs that were like singles or music video singles. We can kind of take out like a song from Pull Harder or Down from the Sky or Strife and put in another old song that fans really are really into as well. So it's cool on that end that you know, our fans, they buy the records and they, you know, digest the whole records and don't just buy the singles. So we play like a deep cut from Shogun or Ascendancy that wasn't like, you know, we didn't make a music video for, people still react.
Yeah, they know what it is.
And yeah, they know what it is, and so it's good. Again, we have a lot of songs, like fans are like, you could do like a poll online and ask what do you want to hear live, and people always are asking for some really obscure songs or even B-sides they want to hear. So it's cool that we can not have to, we don't want our set to be completely predictable. There's obviously songs that are kind of like mandatory, like we have to play like in waves and shit.
Yeah, especially like from the newer albums, kind of like the popular ones from that. I feel like you are more obligated
we always
to
play like
than...
World Goes Cold. You know, that was a big song, but we don't really. That's like the only song from the record we play. But we always try to, like, you know, mix it up, because, you know, from tour to tour, you know, we have a lot of fans that, you know, come to multiple shows or come see us every tour, and we want to make sure every time they come back, they know that they're going to be able to hear something they didn't hear the last time. So we're always digging through the back catalog and trying to finding a song that we haven't done that kind of like pops out at you at the time. You're like, oh, we haven't done this one, and it seems like it'd be a really fun one to play. And there's a lot of songs that, you know, Alex is still, you know, relative in the history of the band, he's relatively new, so he's, you know, as we keep going, he keeps learning more songs. So we're always, you know, finding some tracks to throw at him that because some of the songs, you know, from the old stuff that we haven't played in a long time, we're like, these will sound really, really great live with a great drummer playing it. So
so it sounds like you have confidence in Alex.
Yeah, of course. Like, we've been playing stuff from the old records, and they sound amazing live. So we're just kind of being on tour. It's hard to, you know, learn and rehearse. So once we get, you know, some time off from touring before the next run, we'll be kind kind of figuring out some songs that we can throw in that would pleasantly surprise some fans.
Yeah. How involved are you in like the lyric writing process?
That's a lot of the records is mostly Matt writing the lyrics, and Paulo's always helping, because Matt would always like, hey, this is what I'm working on, and showing stuff. And for a long time Paulo would be there to kind of help edit and kind of figure kind of like maybe not go this or this, say this. And Shogun, I wrote a couple songs with lyrics, but I don't normally get into the lyric stuff. And then the last two records, Paulo and Matt have pretty much worked like side by side. And the new record, Paulo wrote a lot of the lyrics and melodies and stuff. So it's always cool that like not one aspect of the band, like creatively in writing or anything, is like solely like on one person's shoulders.
Yeah, I was just curious because like historically Trivium has some pretty cool lyrical themes, like Shogun. You have like stories from like the Iliad and the Odyssey and stuff like that, and I wanted to get your take on if there's any lyrical themes or any hidden meanings in the newest album that fans might not have caught on to yet.
I think it's I kind of just I don't really dig too deep in asking them like every song, like I've heard them talk about what they're about and everything, and I think when people read the lyrics, like there is like a story behind it of what they were writing about, but I think also like the lyrics can be very easily, you can kind of listen to them as a fan and just take it at face value, read the words, hear it, and kind of come up with your own thing of what you want the song to be about. It could be something personal or something you kind of take away from the song. So we've done it on some records where we just kind of leave it open to interpretation, because we've had so many fans that have come up with like what they think the lyrics are. There's always a really interesting perspective that kind of fans can their imagination kind of takes them.
You don't want to define it, because then it takes away whatever it means to the individual fans.
I know a lot of stuff the guys do is they kind of like, Paula reads a lot of books and like maybe something from a historical thing, and just kind of like writes it in a way that it kind of is not necessarily like you're writing about a subject in a book, but you're taking like what you read and kind of like what the story's telling you, and kind of taking your own perspective of it and kind of writing something that makes, I guess, like
just inspired by.
Because like The Beauty and the Sorrow was inspired from like a book Paula read about World War I soldiers and letters that they wrote home and stuff about. I think it was called The Beauty and the Sorrow, and he kind of took the title and kind of took like what he read from the book and kind of made his own kind of, I guess, story interpretation of it. So I think there's, they try to make, write lyrics that are not just kind of very just like from one perspective. It can be like read and taken multiple ways, and it's kind of like we don't want we want our lyrics to be meaningful and have something to say that is powerful and has emotion, but not being so just like, this is exactly how I feel personally about everything, and you just kind of let the fans be able to have that song be like a part of them. If it really connects with them, they can kind of like, the song can mean whatever it means to them.
All right, Corey, thanks. That's I know we just ran out of time, so any last words you want to say to potential fans watching?
We'll be touring a lot for the new record, so keep an eye out for tour dates. We got a lot more stuff coming up this year that hasn't been announced yet, so keep an eye out on our social medias, websites, and everything. And if you haven't checked out the record, you can go check it out on anything that you can, streaming services, iTunes, buy it in a store, old school style. So it's out there to check out, and hopefully you like it.
All right, thanks for the time, man. Everybody check out their 8th album, The Sin in the Sentence, and catch them on tour soon. Thanks again.
Cool, thank you.